Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm doing a review on the MK1 Combat Select Boxing Gloves. So stay tuned. Hey, what's up guys? Carlo here, and today I'm doing a review on the MK1 Combat Select Boxing Gloves. I got mine in the blue colorway, 14 ounces in lace-up closure. You can also get this in 12, 14, and 16 ounces. They have this in Velcro as well, and they also have this boxing glove in red and black. So 3 different colorways, 3 different sizes, in 2 types of closures. Now, MK1's a company that's been around for a couple of years now. They've always been on my radar in terms of their boxing gloves. I just never pulled the trigger to try them out. And I'm definitely happy that I did. I got these Select Boxing Gloves, which is probably their newest addition to their boxing equipment lineup. You know, when I was looking online at their website and taking a look at the photos, the shape of the glove, the design, had kind of elements of gloves I've used in the past. Obviously, that kind of cross X wrist support reminded me of like the Fly Super Lace gloves. The shape of the glove itself reminded me of more or less kind of like a Mexican style glove with that nice parallel thumb and that angled tapered hand compartment. So I said, you know what the heck, let me go ahead and pick up a pair and see how these perform. And they've definitely exceeded my expectations with these gloves. So design wise, the first thing you'll notice that it does use a full genuine leather construction. These gloves are manufactured in Pakistan. The glove itself has more of a medium to compact profile, even for a 14-ounce glove, but it fits very nicely. It does have the MK1 logo on the back of the glove. The leather has more of a kind of a semi-gloss finish to it, so it has a little bit of more of a shinier look to it. Coming down to the wrist section, you do have the double stitching for the cross on the wrist right there. One thing you'll also notice that they do with this particular glove is they put more of an emphasis on wrist support, especially on the back side of the wrist. The back has, I'd say, over an inch, maybe an almost inch and a half of wrist support on the back, and you have a softer foam that goes up against your hand when your hand is on the inside, as well as on the top portion. But in the middle, sandwiched in between the two softer foams, it feels like almost like a piece of EVA or a rubber sheet that gives you that nice rigid feel. So I definitely like the fact that they did that. It does say Select MK1 Select right here on the inner wrist. The inside wrist, it has about a 1/2 inch of medium density foam padding that goes up to right here where the gray piping is on the thumb. I do like the gray that offsets and gives that contrast outside of the blue and the white, so that blue piping, although it's very small, the little detail, it stands out because it's just kind of by itself. So I like that gray. It looks really clean. Same amount of wrist support on the outside wrist. It comes up to, and ends right here. You can see where the stitching tapers off. You'll also notice that it has this offset vertical stitching, which is something I've noticed that Salvador does with their gloves, and you can see it runs all the way to the top. Now, I definitely like that from a styling perspective, but I'm not sure why they did it with this glove because it's all one solid color. Typically, when you have this offset stitching, this panel and this panel are a different color, hence why you have the stitching to separate the two colors of leather that they utilize. But in this case, it's all one solid color. So I'm not too sure why they did that for this glove because it's all one color. But maybe when they have custom pairs that are made, they give the people the option, or should I say give customers the option to go with a separate color on this side, and they just keep everything consistent regardless of the colorway you go with. So you do have that stitching down the middle that separates the two leather panels from the left and the right side. Nice large grip bar with the 14 ounces that's printed on there as well. Ventilated thumb, no ventilated holes on the palm, as well as a leather attached thumb, and it says MK1 on the finger compartment. It uses multi-layer foam padding. We can see it has right there in the middle as far as density goes. Again, a medium density foam glove. This is really perfect for all the training you're doing in the gym, and they've done a really nice job, I feel, with the consistency of the padding. Probably some of my favorite out there in terms of the way it feels and pops. If you watch me using these gloves in the training video I did, you'll notice that on the mitts, these gloves offer a lot of bang, which is kind of deceiving because it does have a good amount of foam padding to protect your hands, but when you land a really good shot, you can really feel your knuckles go through and gives it that nice pop, but it gives you a good amount of protection as well. Quality of these gloves are definitely really nice. I mean, one thing I noticed is when I put them on the scale, they came in exactly at 14 ounces. So the weight is exactly on point for what it's advertised at, which is amazing, especially for a training glove. If I were to nitpick and say if there's any area of concern with this glove, I would say maybe just the symmetry of the stitching. You can see maybe a little bit off if you really wanted to be nitpicky with it. But other than that, the leather consistency is nice. No issues with the leather. Feels nice and thick. Has a nice thick, high-grade feel to the leather. The logos on the back of the glove are symmetric between the two gloves. The stitching is done nicely between the thumb and the index finger. Leather attached thumb there. Logos look good. Here's the stitching on the palm side. All pretty standard for the higher-end Pakistan-made gloves. Outside edges looks good. Everything is rolled in nicely. The glove is well balanced, so you can see that regardless if I'm holding it from the top or the bottom of the glove, it stays true. It doesn't sag and have that fold. And again, that amount of wrist support you have on there gives it a nice rigid feel, but not overly stiff to where you feel like your hand is like in a piece of cardboard. So I definitely like that. Laces are nice, long, white, flat laces. Here is the stitching again. Piping looks good. I love that gray piping. Holes are punched out for the ventilated holes. And the inside uses a tricot aligner that is really nice and smooth and wicks away moisture pretty nicely. You also have blue piping around the bottom portion of the cuff. I'd say right here, I don't know if you guys can see it in this video, but it looks like, I don't know if it's like a silver marker that they use to kind of like mark the leather, so you can see a little bit of marking right there, but again, we're just nitpicking at aesthetics of the glove. But outside of that, everything else about the glove quality is top notch. Comfort, another favorite feature of this glove. You slide your hand in here and right off the bat they feel amazing. I love the liner, that nice tricot liner. The inner thumb almost feels like a micro suede type liner on the thumb, so the thumb liner is different than the rest of the hand. It uses like this micro suede. The thumb is deep enough to accommodate my finger for a 14-ounce glove. Do keep in mind they do have this in 16 as well. But for my hands, 14 is perfect. Like the fit is perfect with my hand wraps on. The thumb positioning is perfect. When I make a fist, you can see it doesn't pull down on the tip of the thumb. Nice deep finger compartment with neoprene that covers the stitching. And it's almost like they were watching my videos and took note of what I look for in gloves and what I think can really improve the details of the gloves, because they implemented it in this glove. So you also notice that it has an angled, tapered hand compartment, and what that ends up doing, aside from the thumb being perfect positioning, is when you make a fist with this, and you can see it has a nice broken in feel as well, which I love, is when you make a fist and you turn your punches over and you're coming in towards your target, the first thing to land is going to be, and you can also see just how your hand is angled when it's facing straight, right? So it's your two front, your index finger and your middle finger knuckles are the ones that are supposed to be landing on your target. And because of that tapered hand compartment, it puts your hand into position, almost like the Adidas Speed Tilt 350s. It kind of aligns your hand into position to where it ensures that your knuckles are landing properly and you're not landing on top of your hand or on the front portion of your finger. Sometimes gloves, it doesn't allow you to roll your hand all the way over, and the position of your hand is almost like this in certain gloves based on the foam in the hand compartment. So you almost feel like you're landing more on this area rather than your knuckles turning over and landing on that. And with these, it's nice and deep to where your hands can fold over and kind of tuck into the hand compartment. And when you make a fist, you definitely land on those knuckles. So thumb feels great. Hand compartment feels perfect, not too wide, not too narrow. Wrist support feels great as well. The fact that they put more of an emphasis on that back wrist support feels great. And overall, a super comfortable glove. Definitely love the way these feel. Protection and performance. This is right in the middle. I'd say this is not overly protective and not overly like a puncher style glove. You'll kind of get the best of both worlds with this. You can use this for all types of training, sparring, hitting the mitts, hitting the heavy bag, and I think you'll definitely enjoy using these gloves, and they should last you a while, just depending on how often you're training. But the protection performance is definitely there. These are probably going to be in my top 5 in terms of a training glove when I do like a 2022 list of gloves thus far, because these gloves really surpass my expectations in that regard. Cost wise, these gloves are $130. I think they're well worth it. I find that you'll find that these gloves look great, are made of great materials, the comfort's there, the performance is there, the padding, the quality's there. When you hit the bag, you get a nice satisfying pop. You get good feedback from them. You know, they're not overly soft, they're not overly stiff. The thumb feels good. The sizing is perfect. If you have really long fingers or large hands, you can even go up to 16 ounces, and you should be good with that. If you have more smaller hands, and then go with like the 12-ounce gloves or even these 14s, should probably fit you well, especially if you wear hand wraps. But overall, I'm thoroughly impressed with these. Even at the price point of $130, I think they're perfect right there where they need to be. So if you guys have any questions or comments, make sure you guys leave them down below in the comments box. I'll put the link in the description box where you can find these Mark 1, or should I say MK1 Combat Select Boxing Gloves. And I'll see you guys later. Take care.